Capricorn. They tried to break you, but ended up breaking themselves. It started subtly, the small gesture, the innocent sleeps, the tension disguised as care, the concern cloaked in sabotage. Someone had you in their sights, Capricorn, and they weren't looking to love you. They were looking to disarm you. They played the fool well. They masked manipulation as misunderstanding. They disguised delay as distraction. And all the while, you, with your strength and resilience, felt the shift in your energy and still pushed forward. The gaslighting didn't dim your fire, it only made it more precise. Let's see what the cards reveal about this. This wasn't just miscommunication. This was a calculated attempt to destabilize you at your core. The person in question didn't simply make mistakes or act impulsively. They made deliberate choices designated to throw you off balance, whether it came in the form of subtle lies, strategic omissions, or confusing behaviors. They made you question your own memory. Their intentions were rooted in control. Every vague answer, every shift in tone, every accidental inconvenience was a chess move in their personal game to chip away at your confidence. They wanted you unsure of yourself, constantly seeking clarity from them, relying on their approval to feel steady. But here is the twist: they never imagined you'd evolve beyond their reach. They underestimated your strengths, your intuition, and your capacity to see through the fog. What they hoped would break you only sharpened your vision. You didn't just survive their tactics, you transcended them. You've already begun the journey out of this storm. They may have left you in the cold, discarded, ignored, or emotionally abandoned, but you didn't freeze. You didn't break into pieces the way they hoped you might. Instead, you stood back up. You gathered what they tried to shatter and started rebuilding piece by powerful piece. You found warmth not in their validation, but in your own inner fire, and now the tables have turned. They're the one on the outside watching you glow, rise, and move forward, baffled at your strengths, haunted by the realization that you never needed them to thrive. You've broken a cycle that once felt impossible to escape. That invisible thread they used to pull you back in. It snapped. Their power over you has dissolved, and the tricks they once relied on, those same manipulative games, the guilt trips, the half-hearted apologies, they fell flat now. You're no longer moved by the chaos they stir or the pity they pretend to deserve. You've seen behind the curtain. Their accidents are no longer innocent. Their help always came with a hook. Their confusion was just a cover for control. But none of it works anymore. You've developed a kind of emotional X-ray vision, seeing through every excuse and every delay tactic. And what they didn't count on, what truly threw them, is how fiercely you've come to value yourself. They underestimated your strengths, your clarity, your worth, and now, no longer in their orbit, you've become your own gravitational force. The Wheel of Fortune. Karma is patient but precise. The person who once tried to control the narrative is now spinning in a story they can't rewrite. Life has a way of handing back what we dish out. And right now, the wheel isn't in their favor. They haven't learned a thing. Even now, they're stuck in their own echo chamber, surrounded by the sound of their own excuses and illusions. They keep running the same pattern, blaming everyone else for their pain, their failures, their isolation. They point fingers outwards but never look inward. And as they do, their world gets smaller. Relationships break down, opportunities fade, and their closest connections grow distant. They can't figure out why it's all crumbling. But you know exactly why, Capricorn. You've seen it before, you lived it. And you made the choice they want, to grow, to take accountability, to evolve, to break free, and they're still spinning in circles. Clear, here, directed. You've shed the illusions they try to wrap you in like a fog, and in doing so they found your center. You no longer mistake chaos for passion or manipulation for love. You've embraced clarity, not as a weapon but as a shield. You're not bitter, you're better. Not closed, you're cautious, and with good reason. That caution is wisdom earned. You now recognize red flags the moment they flicker. Your clarity isn't just protection, it's your compass, your inner truth, and your quiet strength. You move forward with purpose, unshaken, knowing exactly who you are and what you deserve. They still believe they're in control. Yeah. They definitely still believe they're in control. Yes, star card is a yes. And here is the Emperor, which is clarified by the moon. In their mind, they're the one who got away, the one who made the final move, held the power, walked with dignity. But the truth, the real unfiltered truth, is much darker. The moon reveals the illusions they built their fantasy around. It shows us that they're not powerful, they're lost. They're not enlightened, they're hiding from the very shadow they cast. They've created a story where they're the misunderstood hero, but deep down they know it's fiction. Their delusion is their prison, and they can't escape it as long as they keep blaming you for the void inside them. They point fingers to avoid facing their own emptiness, but here is what they can't admit. You were never the problem. You were the mirror. And they hated what they saw. No light will reach them until they stop running from their own reflection. Victory is yours, and not because you played their games better or shouted the loudest. No, your win came the moment you stopped fighting for crumbs, stopped explaining your worth, and chose to stop battling someone who only thrives on chaos. You stopped fighting yourself, that inner conflict, the second-guessing, the self-blame they planted in you like seeds. You listened to your instincts, honored your inner voice, and took your power back. That's when the shift began. You pulled your energy inward, stopped leaking it into places that only drain you. You chose peace over drama, clarity over confusion, truth over illusion, and now the universe is responding with confirmation after confirmation that you made the right choice. You're aligned, you're protected, you're rising. And what once seemed like a loss, it was the door to everything you needed. Your calm became your comeback, and your silence is your strength now. Capricorn, they set out to drain you, your time, your energy, your finances, your very essence, your peace. They wanted to delay your progress, to make you doubt yourself, to keep you spinning in circles while they pulled the strings from behind the curtain. They thought they could break you down quietly, slowly, without leaving obvious marks. But they miscalculated. You weren't breakable. You weren't moldable. You weren't like clay in their hands. You are forged in something stronger, in integrity, in self-respect and hard-earned wisdom. You saw through the performance, the push-pull, the manipulative games. And when you walked away, you didn't stumble. You walked tall, carrying your dignity like armor. Now they're left clutching their illusions, spinning in the storm they conjured. But you're no longer dancing in their chaos. You've built your own sky, clear, open, limitless. They try to write your ending, Capricorn, but you reclaim the pen. And this chapter is yours, bold and beautiful. Let them spin. You're done dancing in their storm. You've built your own sky. See you in the next reading, Capricorn.